Hello, welcome to Pixel Sprites and Nonsense. We're on episode 15. And today with me is Benjiro.
Hi. How's everybody doing?
And Vash.
Heyo.
And let's get it going. Okay, welcome back. Well, let's start with what we've been playing, and then we'll go to the news, because there's actually been quite some news this week to talk about. So let's start with what we've been playing this week. Benjiro, what have you been playing or been doing game-related?
Okay, I am going to mention the little kerfuffle we just had. I had Spotify on podcasts in the background, and I had it accidentally set to ×3, and it popped over to our old podcast. So yeah, that's what happened. And after that, apparently the audio, I just killed my Spotify, and everything's fine now. So my bad. I'm very sorry. With that being said, what did I play this week? I didn't play a lot. I didn't really have a lot of time. I did play some stuff. We're going to move over to the podcast web screen. Here we go. And I did try the Street Fighter 6. Also very loud Street Fighter 6. Not loud anymore. So I did play the Street Fighter 6 demo that became available this week. So it was pretty fun. You get to experience a little bit of the main story, the main campaign, and it's basically taking place in the same city where Final Fight is taking place. You even mention Mayor Haggard, which used to be Mike Haggard, with the big wrestling guy from Final Fight.
One of my favorite.
So you're actually there, and that's why everybody is feisty and still able to fight. They actually just explain it away like, this is the Final Fight city, so that's why everybody loves fighting. And it has this RPG thing going for it, that you can level up your character. You'll gain more HP. You can learn new moves based on your master, and there's quite an extensive customization. So your first master, your first sensei is actually Luke. It's the one that player 2 has in the video we're currently showing. So they changed up some things. Like, I played a lot of Street Fighter. Usually it's this 6-button setup, like low kick, high kick, and then there's like low, medium, heavy, and that goes for kicks and punch. So now they changed changed a little bit, that it auto you can just press R2 and you'll do some auto combos. You'll go from 6-button layout to an actual 4-button layout, which is more convenient for controller players. So you can so if you're not that technical about doing the button combinations and actually executing on these combos, you can still be quite competitive. So that's really fun. You could only play 2 characters. You could play Luke. You could play your own character, which is basically a copy of Luke at the beginning, and you could play Ryu. So that's it. Everybody knows Ryu. They did change him slightly. Like, he doesn't do. Usually he had his hurricane kick, and it's gone. He's too old for hurricane kicks now, so it's basically just another fireball. So they changed that slightly. But other than that, the game runs really well. It looks good. It's actually running on the Resident Evil engine, the RE engine, which is Capcom's proprietary one. Yeah. So it seems to be good.
It's a really good engine.
Yeah, it's a good engine. The game runs absolutely fine. It's going to be a lot of fun. The only problem I have with this game is the pricing. It's ridiculous. So the main game comes with 16 fighters, which is a little light on the roster.
I see what they're doing.
You can have to buy them extra, right?
And so that's like the $60 version, and then you have like an $80 version, which comes with some costume changes, and then there's the €120 version, which actually comes with 4 additional characters, which will be season 1, so they'll be expanding it over multiple seasons. To be fair, they did it with Street Fighter 5 as well, but yeah. That's the way fighting games are going nowadays. Like you get the bare minimum, and the rest is basically season pass stuff. So yeah, it's that's the only thing that actually kind of soured me on the experience. But other than that, it looks absolutely fine. Like a lot of fun.
Okay, so it looks like it's going to be a solid entry in the series.
Yeah, and one that doesn't really require a fight stick, since you have the 4-button layout. I think playing it with a regular controller will be just as well.
Nice.
Yeah, much like Tekken and other fighting games that use 4-button setups.
Yeah, but the difference is with Tekken is that it's a 3D fighter, and this is still on a 2D plane.
True. Yeah.
They're 3D models, but the game is still very much on a 2D plane.
Yeah, there's no sidestepping and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
No.
There is some fun stuff about about the open world, because you basically just go through the world. You can fight anybody you want, so they actually have their level above their head, and you can challenge them to fight. So I was like level 2, and I challenged a level 9. Actually beat them, so that was fun. But there are also like duo fights where there is a companion that fights on your side, and then there are 2 enemies, and you actually have to duke it out at the same time. So it's not even round based or tag team based. It's basically just duking it out at the same time. So that's kind of cool. So that's it for Street Fighter 6.
Oh, I have one thing to ask, because
Sure.
from my understanding, because I saw some videos of it, of course, not the biggest fighting fan, but I think there was like the overworld is basically you're one character in the city, you can create your own avatar.
Yeah, you can.
And you just enter fighting tournaments using the arcade cabinets, right?
No, you actually just go into the city. At least you can only play chapter 1 in the demo, but you just go into the city, and you can go into a clothing store. You can change your clothing from the money you get from the fights. You can just walk up to any NPC, and you can press the square button to challenge them. They all have their levels. So there's like level 1 characters, and like I said, there's a level 9 character right there.
Yeah.
And that's basically how you do it. And you have a phone, and on your phone you have a couple of missions. So you have to talk to a specific NPC, and he or she will fight you, and you have to do specific goals to beat her, or it comes down to basically a tutorial.
Yeah. And is the demo timed, or
it doesn't appear to be timed. At least I don't think it is. It's fairly short though, and it doesn't save.
Right.
The only thing it actually saves that you can bring to the main game is your avatar creation. So if you created a character, you'll be able to import it into the actual game. Other than that, it doesn't save anything.
Right. I'm gonna have to give it a try then tomorrow.
It's fun. You can get through it within an hour.
Right.
Cool. Also, the blue guy has ridiculous forearms. They're like, it's
that
not.
stood out to me just
he
now.
looks like freaking Popeye. It's nuts.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it at the start, but when I saw his arms, I was like, dude, that guy is, wow.
It gets even worse.
He's been training one part very heavily with two hands.
So it gets worse later on. When you see him in cutscenes, it's definitely very apparent that his forearms are ridiculous.
So they even like put like a focus on it in like the cinematics and stuff.
Yeah, so sort of.
Cool.
So
okay,
you got a rivalry going on with a dude that's very much similarly dressed to Dalsim, so he might be like Dalsim's kid or something. I don't know. But
interesting.
You basically start training together, and after you trade together, he's like, "This is not for me. I want to become fast like yesterday. I need it to be quicker," and he just leaves. And then you're probably gonna. He's probably gonna be your rival for the rest of the story.
Right.
So looking forward to that. I also played a little bit of Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, which is basically just. It's just a rhythm game. It's fun. It's a little difficult.
I pick this one up as well.
The music of Kingdom Hearts is really cool. So it's a really fun game to play through. It's actually it actually has a story mode that is basically even just part of the canon. So you get a new a new look on the actual story by the ending of it. So that's really cool.
Nice.
So just played it for a bit. This is something I can play and the kids enjoy watching. Like it's not a really scary game. It's the music is fine. So not much else to say. It's another rhythm game. I seem to be liking those lately.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
There's one
collecting
rhythm
them.
game. Yeah, I was on a forum lately. I'm on a lot of forums, but one of them had a question like if there's a franchise you want to bring back, that had like one entry, or since the PlayStation 2 hasn't got anything new. One of them that I really want to see come back is Guitar Man, which is very fun.
Guitar
So-
Man.
Yeah, it was
Guitar
basically
Man.
Parappa the Rapper with a guitar.
No. That's Jammer Lammy. No. Guitar Man is there's a line in there. You have a sender. I'll show it when I talk about it in the future. But it's a very fun music game with some really good music. So if it has good music that's focused on the games, like this game, I definitely want to pick that up. Yeah.
So yeah, and I played a bit of The Crew too, which
Crew
is basically
2.
yeah. So it's on PS Plus. You can play it there. And I was looking for something else than a rhythm game to play when the kids are around. I tried to play Kana, and I was like, okay, I can play Kana with the kids there. And then there's like these Groot-looking things that are just terrible. So I was like, yeah, let's not do that. That might give them nightmares.
Spooky
So
alert.
yeah, so we stopped playing Kana. It's very, very decisive. Like one of them, or some of the characters are really cute, and then there's like the really creepy stuff. So I played a little bit of the Crew too, and it's just a fun racing game. It's basically mindless. You can be a plane. You can be a power boat. I still like the driving best though. Like the boat's kind of boring, and as is the flying. It's not. It's there. It's fun, but it's not the main.
Yeah.
Attraction of the game, but I like the driving. It's very arcade, so it reminds me of Need for Speed. Just a lot of
Burnout, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
it's simple fun. So yeah, I've been going through that. I'll see how long it will keep my attention. I did buy some new games that are probably coming in next week, so I might drop this one fairly shortly. But I did have some fun with the Crew too. So with that being said, I think that's it for me.
Okay, Vash, what have you been playing this week?
Well, I decided to take things a step back. I still played some Borderlands 3, but I also wanted to check out Two Point Campus more. There's still a lot of areas I still want to finish before I get the some new DLC for the game, because of course there's going to be new DLC, new areas, new kinds of missions. I loved Two Point Hospital, for example. That did the same thing, and it's just a lot of fun. It's not very fast. You have to be, patient with a lot of stuff. And I like the difference in that, compared with Two Point Hospital, is that you can set up a lot of stuff, but at the end, then you have to start a school year. Otherwise, you won't get any money in. So, and when the school year is done, you can check out your stats from, okay, this one graduated, this one didn't. And I love the style and the funny bits. Well, this video's taking long to load. Hang on.
Yeah, it's a 20-hour video, so you really shouldn't skip through it.
Nope. But yeah, the setup is the same as Two Point Hospital. And you can decorate the rooms any way you like with all the stuff that's available. You unlock new objects that you can place. There's clubs they can join that help with their courses. There's one where they get better sleep because there's a sleep club. There's also
I have a question about this game though. If you already played Two Point Hospital, does this game add something, or is it just basically the same game with a different skin?
No. There's different stuff in there. Like I said, in Two Point Hospital, you just go through a year, and then you're done. But this has the school year is different from outside the school year. So there's some differences in that. during the school year, you can see all the students just go around, and outside the school year, nothing really happens. But you can set up a lot of stuff for you have to set up some stuff for the new school year. So you do have to keep in mind that you're gonna have to spend outside the school year as well.
Okay.
So that is pretty challenging. You can start. In some cases, you can't even start the new school year because you don't have the facilities for it. Otherwise, it's gonna say that, oh, you don't have this, and you only have so many days to fix that. So it's really, it's a lot about management, about the finances and that sort of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, but there's a lot of funny stuff in there, like the robots that you can build, or at least you don't build the robots themselves, but you can build the classes, and they feature different robots, and it's just a fun management game.
Yeah, it's always the 2-point game, at least with the hospital. It's always like, okay, it's a hospital, but there's also some extra crazy things in there.
Yeah,
like
and this kind of takes that as well.
People get light bulb diseases and stuff like that. So
that's what I liked about that game.
Yeah,
it's fairly funny.
Yeah.
It's very British as well.
Very tongue in cheek.
Oh yes.
Very British. It's from the same people who made Theme Park and Theme Hospital. Yeah, the originals. And I was very happy that they were going to return with 2-Point Hospital. And 2-Point Campus is, it's an evolution. It's not a revolution compared to 2-Point Hospital, but it's an evolution. And if you see that moon over there, that is like a moon thing that is part of the sleep club.
Okay.
So there's sorts of different smaller objects that you can place for the clubs around the campus, so they can always keep their club appreciation high and get better skills.
Okay.
One of the clubs is a natural club or nature club, but they walk around with leaves and figs on their private areas, and they can change some topiaries. So the fun part about that is, like, you can place topiaries and they can change them whenever they want. So every time you return, they might look different, which is also fun. And I haven't unlocked everything yet, but I played some maps where you're like in a wizard school. There is a map for archaeology. There's a sport called I can't remember the name. Something with cheese wheels. So that's kind of fun. And they can you actually see them play the you can set up different events. So one of the events, of course, is a championship with the cheese wheel throwers and that sort of stuff. So that's very fun. Yeah.
Is it like flipping cheese wheels, like you have to, like they do with the?
Oh no, they throw them around hard.
Those are really, really heavy.
Yeah. So that's that's the funny part about it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. There's a night school, so they can so they can become knights, and that sort of stuff. Yeah. It's very interesting, and there's also DLC out that you can go into space. So a bit like Star Trek.
Oh yeah, of course. Just go into space. Of course,
you have to do that.
Yeah.
Like Starfleet Academy, that sort of stuff. And I keep saying that sort of stuff a lot right now. But yeah, it's fun. I like it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're into management games, this is definitely a fun one. Yeah.
Was that it for you for this week, or did you play something else?
I played something else as well, which is on sale right now. Also published by Sega, same as 2-Point Hospital. Humankind from Amplitude Studios, and it's a different take on the Civilization type games.
It's a 4X game, right?
But it's more akin to Civilization than other 4X games, and it's not easy. I have to say that. Are
you saying Civilization is easy?
Well, sort of, yeah.
It's not, though.
It can be challenging, depends on what you do. But I played this. I tried this out, the tutorial on the easiest difficulty, and even that was challenging because some things didn't click with me right away. So you start off with just a group of people, and they walk around. And you can't build anything yet. They just walk around, and you have to find stuff. You have to explore the map. They're hunter-gatherers, basically. And so you're it's a nomadic lifestyle, of course.
Okay. That's interesting. So you really start with nothing, and then you have to build up from there.
Yes,
and that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, you learn new stuff from things you find. Eventually, you can start an outpost where people can gather back, come back again. That in turn, it depends on what area you're in, can turn into a city. And what I did wrong was I focused mainly on building cities, which takes a lot longer than just multiple outposts and taking over certain areas, because each area is divided in several segments. So once you build an outpost, you can have that entire area that is your under your influence. And what I did wrong was that I didn't build enough people to make new outposts. Because building outposts and making cities takes influence, and you only get so much influence per turn. Okay. And I just wanted those influence points. Suddenly there were outposts of other civilizations within my area, basically. So next to my major city and that sort of stuff. And because I didn't focus on a lot of good stuff, the other computer players started to become condescending to me, or one was even claiming I was tyrannical for some reason.
Okay.
Which I didn't understand how. But
can't blame them.
After I finished, like, okay, I might need to come back to this. I played for like 2 hours, and then I figured out, oh, you know what? Maybe I have to do this and this and this instead of something else, and then it just clicked basically. So yeah,
it's one of those things where you have to kind of figure out how do you go about starting up things and how do you get things going.
Yeah,
like,
it's completely different from Civilization in that regard. It's the same type of game. They wanted to make their own version, but there are a lot of stuff that is different, and I do like it. There's several stars you can get each turn or each era, and after several stars you can go towards the next era.
Okay.
And that will bring you different sorts of religion and ideologies and that sort of stuff. It's
Okay.
It's very interesting. It takes some getting used to. Yeah.
Is it like Civilization that you have to buy basically all the DLC to make it feel like a complete game? Because that's a problem with Civilization nowadays.
Oh, I didn't have the problem with Civilization 6, to be honest, and I don't have the problem with this game. No.
Okay.
I didn't buy all the DLC yet. It's on sale, as I said, right now. I might pick up the DLC, but for now, I haven't progressed that far into the game yet. But
just go through the main game first and see. See where it maybe started thinning up in content.
Yeah.
And then go for the DLC. That's what I would do, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If there's still interest.
Yeah. But those are probably my most played games, except for Borderlands 3 and Vampire Survivors, but whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are the games I wanted to highlight.
Yeah, for me, I finished the second map for Halls of Torna, just as Vash did. So I completed both, and there's actually not much to talk about. That I just finished it with my archer,
Nice.
Which is basically I think the easiest character to win with. I think because he has such a reach. More. Yeah, the distance just helps a lot. But yeah, it's a fun game. It's one of the many Vampire Survivors clones or inspired games that's available. There's a free demo available, Prelude. So that's what I finished. Of course, there's going to be a lot more content later. Yeah. But so far, it's just just that. So yeah, I finished it.
They did an update, by the way, on the early access stuff that's coming.
Yeah. I did see that there was an update. Yeah. So, but yeah, of course, there's going to be a full game later on, so we'll have to wait and see. But maybe I'll get it too, because I had quite a lot of fun with that one. Other than that, I continued more Blood. I finished 3 episodes now. And I think which level is it showing on the video? Oh, right, this is the end boss for the third, I think. which is really, really tricky. This is one of those bosses. There's a big spider boss. It's like two big spiders. But I don't know how it works, and I still don't know. I think you just have to do like crazy amounts of damage. I was also playing on a pretty high difficulty level just to challenge myself.
Right.
But yeah, they just don't die. You just have to blast them, and until apparently they just die. I think I killed one that I knew of, and the other one just off screen died somewhere. Maybe it got hit by some random stray bullet or something. I don't know. But that was kind of a weird boss fight. And then I started the next episodes, and yeah, it's just fun. It's just blood is fun. There were some new weapons that I've never had the pleasure of using before, since I only played the earlier episodes when the game originally came out, and I never got too far into it. So there were some new toys to play with that I actually had to find out how they worked, because they were not very standard weapons. There's like this totem that shoots like fireballs, but you can also place the totem, and then it will be like sort of a turret. So, and I don't know how it works, because apparently it just keeps shooting, but it also doesn't do a lot of damage. It's weird. So I'm not sure about how that works. But yeah, the level design is it's good old build engine stuff. Some crazy mechanics, weird puzzles, like the video showing a door puzzle here that took me quite a long time to do. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm gonna definitely continue. After that, there's some other build engine games that I might want to play. Maybe some more obscure ones too. So I'm gonna figure that out. And besides that, I've also continued my Super Mario Galaxy run.
Right.
So,
my
volume is suddenly loud. Why is that? Yeah, so Mario Galaxy, a lot of fun still. It's getting harder now. These levels, the later planets are really, challenging you and making sure that you use all the moves that Mario has. And there were some really tricky ones where you have to, especially with like the Daredevil comets, when they are like attached to a level where you only can get hit once. It's like get immediately death if you get hit once. And
move into the fire.
Yeah, and it was actually the video showing the level where I had the most problem with, especially because of the stupid Steam thingies. Yeah, so I'm getting there, but there's I keep unlocking new planets, so there's still a lot on the map that I haven't done yet, even though I have collected enough stars to go to the next big story moment, for the campaign, sort of the main thing. And I'm still surprised by all the little mechanics they add through each planet. Basically, like there's still new things and new tricks that game throws at me, even if the game is this old. And also, for future secure Mario pleasure, I also bought Mario Galaxy 2 for the Wii, and I got 3D Mario World for the Wii U for a pretty good price too. I found a good deal on a gaming website. So yeah, I thought, well, why not? So at least I have some Mario to play in the future.
Good stuff.
Yeah, and just like I said before, it's fun, feel good stuff, and it's always it just gives you brings me in a good mood. Yeah. So that's about it for what I played this week. So then we're gonna move on to the news. First topic we're gonna discuss is that AMD announced that they're developing the Ryzen Z1 and Z1 Extreme chips for handheld gaming PCs. So basically, they're going to compete or add on to the library of handheld devices like the Steamdeck, and they're going to bring their own. They're going to have basically really powerful versions in the future. That's how they're going to working on it.
Yes.
Yes. It's very impressive.
Yes.
The Ryzen Z1 Extreme has about 8.6 teraflops, which in context, the Steam Deck only has 1.6.
Yeah.
And the PlayStation 5 has 10.28. That is a massive.
Yes, that means it's getting
Massive
very
upgrade.
close to the console, the current gen consoles.
Don't hold your breath, guys.
No, it's still a handheld device, of course.
Of course.
It's still
There's
very
a
impressive
lot-
number.
Yeah, there's a lot of other issues with it, like battery life and that sort of stuff.
Oh, the wattage is double that of what the Steam Deck currently has, and the Steam Deck the problem with the Steam Deck, it only runs for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Also commercial. That's fun.
This is going to be
So
a killer on your battery life. Yeah.
you're not going to be able to play this unplugged. Not if it's not if they use the full spec. Probably if they can go the Switch route with this. So if you keep it docked, then you will be able to get the 30 watt. If you don't, you'll
Most
probably
definitely.
be closer to 20, maybe 15, and it will run on a lower spec. It's very interesting. So it starts with the Asus. And the
ROG Ally.
the Republic of Gaming Ally will be the first to use it. We don't know the pricing of that yet, but apparently it's coming out early next month, so we'll see how that goes.
No, it's going to come out later this year, but we're going to get details on when exactly and pricing on May 11th. Yeah.
No, they said they were probably going to ship it on May 11th as well, but probably not the higher SKU. We'll see.
Oh, that might be it. Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. So it's going to be an interesting time. It seems like handheld gaming PCs are here to stay, which is interesting. We know that Valve is working on a Steam Deck too, and we'll see how that goes. Like, I'm afraid battery life will be a problem.
Yes, that's what my first concern was.
Especially,
Yeah.
especially taking all these components in regard. So not only does it have basically a killer CPU that's very, very close to what the current consoles have, it also needs to run really fast memory, because current games are a memory hog, and they kind of require DDR5 if you want to run them optimally. Then there's the problem that it has a 1080p IPS screen, which is actually fine, but it runs on 120 hertz, which will kill your battery, because more frame rate, a higher frame rate will be a higher load on your device, will kill your battery.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. Obviously, in a few years, the batteries will get better, and they will probably find ways to maximize performance and minimize actual power costs. But for now, it seems like this thing will suck itself dry within an hour. If you're not gonna limit your games, if you're not gonna limit their frame rate, if you're not gonna limit their performance, you're gonna be looking at maybe an hour of gameplay, which is a problem. But it's interesting that this is a different line than just the laptops, so that's really good. And we'll probably be seeing more gaming handhelds over the next couple of years, which is cool.
It's also good that it's not beholden to just Steam, so you can install everything from Epic to Game Pass and that sort of stuff.
Well, you can do that on SteamOS as well. There are ways.
Yeah, but there's caveats. So
it's more like its native support is easier for that stuff. Probably.
Yeah, but there are some problems with Windows as well, because SteamOS has the advantage that you can just you can press the power button and it will shut down, and you can play. And if you press the power button, you're right back into your game. You know, it has this sleep mode. Windows doesn't have that. So having Windows on your device means you have to shut it down, start it up each and every single time, which is an absolute pain. So that's definitely
it depends on how they optimized it, of course, on the device itself. But
you can't optimize sleep mode. It will still drain way more battery than the way SteamOS does it, which actually just puts everything in memory, and then it just keeps powering your memory. That's what it does.
It'll be interesting. Yeah.
So we'll see how this goes. Maybe Microsoft at some point will upgrade their OS to be able to do that, but for now it's not. Mm-hmm. So what we just saw the guy doing, like grabbing it from his inside pocket, was probably burning him literally.
Yeah,
might be. Yeah,
stuff like that gets hot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, well, speaking of Microsoft, let's jump to another a pretty big news thingy this week. Microsoft Activision acquisition thing is blocked by UK regulators.
Yes.
Yep.
So Microsoft's $60.7 billion deal to acquire Activision Blizzard has been blocked by the UK's Competitors and Marketing Authority, CMA. After months of analyzing 3 million Microsoft and Activision documents, that's a lot of documents, and more than 2,100 emails. Microsoft says they will appeal this decision.
Yep.
But yeah, it's basically they fear that Microsoft will get like a sort of a monopoly on the streaming part of things.
Yeah, the cloud gaming service.
The cloud gaming server, yeah. So they thought, let's not do that. That sounds a little bit too much, and they blocked the deal. So that's interesting.
It's so puzzling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their reasoning isn't very strong, to be honest.
I don't know, because cloud gaming is it's really that popular?
No, it's for the entire game industry. It's like 1%.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a very small huge percentage. Yeah. So that's odd.
It might grow in the next 10 years, but that is like trying to predict the future for everything.
Yeah. I kind of feel like this institute went through all these documents, and maybe they didn't fully understand what cloud gaming is. They just read gaming and what they wanted to, what their reach would be, sort of that kind of thing. Yeah. So they kind of like didn't quite understand what cloud gaming is or something. I don't know. I don't know how much of an expert the CMA is in this field.
But, I don't know.
The like people that work there.
Yeah, like a lot of governments and government regulators, they're not always an expert when it comes to tech. They're always running behind.
Yeah.
So that is a bit of an issue.
But they talk to experts and analysts.
But which experts? That's also a big issue. It might become bigger. I don't see it become that big, cloud gaming, because there's a lot of issues with it that native gaming doesn't have, like lag or input lag in this case, and also they might have conflated Microsoft's kind of dominance in the cloud service in and of itself, using Azure and xCloud. So, and Game Pass isn't that big compared to like native gaming.
No. Game Pass is actually losing them money, or at least it's losing them some money.
Yeah, not a huge amount, but yeah, it's an investment still. Yeah.
I don't really see, they will probably win the appeal, because they literally specified, like, if we give this to Microsoft, they will win in the cloud department and Sony will be far behind. I don't think Sony is actually, their PlayStation now offering with cloud gaming is just bare bones. They don't really care about it. They care more about the local stuff. They don't put their games up there day and date.
Not everything.
It's not even available on every type of device. Like, you can play Game Pass games on your mobile phone if you want to. You can't do that for anything PlayStation. I don't think that's what they want. Nintendo is not even in that fray. And there are a lot of smaller companies that Microsoft is currently making dealings with to supply them with Call of Duty for the next 10 years.
Even today.
They even did that today. Yeah. So apparently, Anywhere, I never heard of that company before, but there are more streaming companies that I've never heard of. Like back in the day, I remember having On Live, which was one of the bigger ones.
That's right.
Which got bought by Sony.
which got bought by
That's-
Sony. That's how they're running their PlayStation now. Is basically on
Mhm.
OnLive's. It's an iteration of OnLive.
Yeah.
So, if they did mix up Azure, which is obviously a cloud platform, but that's more of the infrastructure side of things instead of gaming. So I don't really think that should be accounted for that. xCloud is a different story because it's actually a game work or a game framework that's running there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
And even Microsoft reportedly reassured its staff that they will still just go on with their plans.
Yeah.
So I think Microsoft is like, oh, this is nothing, or something. Like they're like, oh well, you say that you're blocking it, but this appeal will probably overrule it, and
Probably.
this is
There's
it's just a bump in the road.
The only thing that will definitely put a nail in the coffin and would end this is if the European Commission would also vote to block, then the United States voted to block, then the UK voted to block, and the EU voted for block. Yeah. Then it's pretty much done. Then there's no coming back from that. No. So we'll just have to wait and see until May. But yeah,
they're very confident that it's not that it's not going to happen. At least interesting. All right, let's see. Up to the next thing. We had this. All right, so now to a more game-specific related thing. From Software has shown off his first gameplay trailer for their new entry in the Armored Core series. Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon.
Yes.
And it's gameplay, and it looks great. In my honest opinion. I've seen a lot of reactions that it looks like a PS3 game. It's like, it's very weird because I think a lot of people were going on had expectations based on the launch or the announcement trailer. Sorry, but that of course was a CG trailer, which they always do for the Armored Core games. Where they have these cool cinematics. Basically what they do with the Souls games as well. And then the gameplay, of course, is in engine, and I say it still looks great. The really scale of the environments
is huge.
You see a large, enormous, I don't know if it's a robot, but it's like a platform with legs, and you see your little mech beside it. I love that. I love that sense of scale stuff. And of course the fights, they're really fast-paced. I used to always avoid mech games because I was always worried that they were going to be slow, and it's just walking around in a mech, like the old Mech Warrior games, for example. But of course, this is not that kind of developer. They focus on the fast-paced, almost anime-style mech combat.
There's a thing about that. The earlier Armored Core games were slower.
Oh, they were slow. Yes, they were slower. Yeah, true.
With the PlayStation 3 game Armored Core 4 Answer, they did change up the gameplay a bit, made it a bit more faster, and that's when it really started to become a bit more popular. Because there were always kind of niche titles, and now it's a lot bigger. And looking at these, there's boss fights that are looking really good.
Yes.
Like over the top.
Does it feel like a Souls game?
No. It's not going to be at all a Souls game. It's.
No. I wonder.
The earlier games were more Souls-like because they were slower and more plotting. Yeah.
But it's. It's a mission-based game. Yeah, you pick your. I haven't ever played it, but I've just watched some gameplay because I kind of want to make myself familiar with the series. It's a very traditional pick your missions on a big map. You can pick your locations, and then you pick a mission, like clear all enemies within this area, and then you go to that area, which is just it's basically just levels. It's not an open world. It's all like big arenas where you fight and do your missions.
It might be different than this game, but I don't think it will be.
Yeah. Of course, I don't think we know exactly if it's the exact same as the previous games.
From what I'm seeing in this trailer is that there are a lot of big boss set pieces.
There were definitely. They were also in the other games. So.
Yeah. It of course they put some things in that they've learned alongside making the Souls games, and they're gonna of course put their expertise in there. But yeah, so what I learned is it's mostly just mission based, and there's no bonfires or anything. It's basically you equip your mech, you can customize it, you earn money with your missions to upgrade your mech, and then you go into the mission, and then that's how the game goes basically. And then there's boss battles once in a while. So I mean, I think it looks cool. I'm not sure if it's for me, and I think that's going to be a big question because it's From Software. Everybody's enthusiastic for it. Even people that never played an Armored Core game, when I see the reaction videos, they're all like, "Ooh, it's the new From Software game." But I'm kind of wonder if this is going to be one of those games that it either is going to scare away some people that were like expecting something like the Souls game, or that it may create another love for this specific niche. So just like the Souls games created a big fan base and are beloved by many now, even if the games are very niche and very hard. I wonder if this game.
Yeah.
I wonder if this game is going to launch, the same kind of love for their mech games, because I've seen a lot of comments of fans, of players that say, "Oh no, Armored Core can be really hard as well. It's a different kind of hard. It's like it's a different kind of skill set, and the controls can be a little like rough, right? You have to control this mech, which it looks like it's really fast and maneuverable, but." I don't know if they're going to change the controls, but I heard that it's not that easy to control these mechs. Like you have to manage your systems really well and stuff like that. So
optimize your mech as well. Or if you want to go faster, you can go faster. You can have tank treads, of course. You can have I think 4 legs, which makes you more capable of having heavy weaponry.
Yeah,
but slower. So there's all sorts of choices you have to make, and depending on your playstyle. So that is definitely going to be a part of it. Yeah.
Okay, we'll see.
It's definitely gonna be a wait and see for me. I'm gonna be just looking at gameplay. I think I'm just gonna wait till launch and see people play it. But I might dive in. I think I always like building out your mech and upgrading stuff like that. That seems like a fun thing to do, and a little bit of the challenge in there, might be a new thing. So to enjoy.
Yeah.
If you guys want to check it out, when does the game release?
The trailer has a release date. It's in August. Let's see, what was it again? 25th of August. And it also comes with these ridiculous collector's editions, if you're interested in that. One with just a mech, and then there's one with let's see, there's one this one here that shows in the video. It also shows one with a complete housing around it. That doesn't want to show.
That's pretty awesome.
You guys can check out this game the 25th of August on Pixels and Sprites. I'll be doing a birthday stream and playing this game.
Yes, he will. So they have. I think that the most expensive edition is like $400 something dollar or something.
They can get ridiculous.
Yeah. So if you're, but I've already seen Twitter full of like super diehard fans that already like.
Oh yeah.
With what am I doing? And then they show their receipt for the for the super edition. So
yeah, I'm just gonna go for a regular one. I'm fine with just the regular.
Yeah, me too.
You're not a hardcore fan, of course.
No.
I'm gonna play it on PS5, and that's gonna be it.
Yeah.
I want to pick it up on PS5 as well when I can.
Yeah,
it's also, don't pick up the PC version.
Just need to get a
it is
PS5
on Steam
first.
Actually.
It's also going to be on Steam.
Don't pick it up.
Of course,
don't pick it up.
But because we know what happens with PC ports.
It might not happen with this game.
And Elden Ring was not the greatest either.
It happened with every Souls game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. of
From
course,
Software
the-
is not great at PC ports, so don't trust them. And that's a perfect segue into
Yes, I was
take it
gonna
away.
say we're very good at segues today. It's amazing. I think this is gonna go on for the rest of the show, by the way. Yes, the new Star Wars game, Jedi Survivor, has a not very good PC port. People are reporting a lot of performance issues, and like
Do we have
especially
video?
like,
Or there were some switching scenes.
oh yeah, sorry. I
there's switch
think I
scenes.
did. Yeah, switch scenes, because I don't have it ready. I should have
not really
added that.
needed.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But yeah, the game just doesn't run well. It's a big nightmare. I've been waiting for this to drop and see, because I was gonna play it definitely. I was a big fan of the original. And I was really excited to see where the story continues. I actually already pre-blocked all the words on Twitter so I wouldn't get spoiled. But yeah, now it seems that I'm gonna have to wait because I don't want to play a buggy, bad performing game. I'm actually not sure how it is on the console. It's probably fine on console, with all these PC ports, where the console version is pretty good.
Yeah,
And
because
then
they're
the PC, yeah,
they're developed in house.
yeah. So it's another PC version that's get this bad stamp on it of just don't play it at launch, and it's kind of sad. So
The developers did say that they were going to do a lot of work the next couple of weeks, but that is bad. I mean,
yeah,
you outsource that kind of stuff when you do it for a PC game nowadays, and with a lot of PC games, Gotham Knights in the same one, same issues, lots of catching up to do, and it's going to take weeks or months to get it up to the point where you can actually play it.
It might actually not get there. That's the problem.
That's also an issue. Yeah,
I think
some games.
I think
don't
Dead
remember which
Space, the Dead Space remake, still has issues on PC.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still see people on Twitter. Is Dead Space still stuttering? Can I finally play it?
Callisto Protocol, same thing, still issues.
The
The Last of Us still has issues on PC, and this one's just added to a long list of PC games. Actually, the first Dark Souls game still has issues on PC. They never fixed it, so that's from Software. So there's actually a mod, like a fan-made mod, that fixed it within 2 days, and From Software never did anything.
I remember that.
It's bad.
Yeah, and it seems to be happening a lot lately. It's like if you want to play a game day one, you better either have a console version or at least hold off until the reviews come in and you see what the day one patch does.
Yeah, because we've been playing Gotham Knights like recently, and it works fine now.
I have it running on my PC with no issues. Literally, I have it running on max settings on 4K 60, and it doesn't drop.
Exactly. Yeah. So and they also gonna deliver some new stuff with the new update.
Yeah.
Apparently, like a 15 level challenge raid. That's interesting. So they're adding new stuff now to the base game of Gotham Knights, but it took them a lot longer than they probably were planning to, because it was terribly optimized for the platform.
Yeah, and it's weird also because the first Jedi game, had no problems. I don't think I remember any, and it's using Unreal Engine. Same with the new one.
Yeah. So
I'm just wondering, like, where did it go wrong? Like, is the game that much more intense in terms of graphics and AI or whatever? I haven't looked into it because I don't want spoilers, but if I don't know what the problem is there. Or did they just not have enough time to optimize it for PC? Or
that might be it.
Yeah,
that might be
it's strange.
Yeah,
PC is in a weird space anyway. Like there's a big group of people that are still using low spec PCs. Yeah. Then there are a few people like Batsman here who has a PC that's like twice my salary, and then there's And then there are people that are in between that have okay spec PCs, but not like state of the art.
Yeah.
I mean, I have an i5 and I have an RX 6650 XT because I can't really afford the newest stuff yet. So yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
but it's There's just a trend going on with all these bad ports. It's kind of weird.
so my machine is actually running one of the processors that apparently can't get above 50 frames and stutters obvious a lot. And it's a 5900X, which is, well, last year it was still the flagship chip when it came to AMD Ryzen, and so they just released new chips a few months ago. So it's not up there, but it was a year ago. It was basically a beast.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculous that it doesn't work.
I think, what I heard is that it is a CPU issue, mostly with Jedi Survivor.
Apparently, CPU and memory.
Yeah, because I saw a video of someone turning down the graphics all the way to low, and running it at 1080 or something, and the game ran still, like it barely hit 60 at that point.
Yeah.
And so that means that it's not the video settings at all. Like tweaking the video settings wouldn't change anything. So it's purely under the hood of this, like what it does with the CPU, which is strange because I don't like expect a game like that to be really heavy on CPU use, especially not with Unreal Engine, I think.
Well, basically everything you run below 1440p is mostly CPU headed. Everything above 1440p starts to use your GPU more.
True.
Yeah. Sometimes it's even like if you turn on more effects on your graphics settings, that it's easier to run because it like
utilizes
utilize your GPU better.
Yeah.
And like relieves your CPU of some tasks. So, but yeah, for this game apparently it needs patching. So I'm gonna wait because I was really excited to play this, but yeah, it's just gonna be in the freezer for me, and I haven't even bought it yet. So I'm just gonna wait until I see some good positive news about it. All right. Next up, Sony has reported some record-breaking numbers. They shipped 19 million units in the fiscal year of 2022, and the game's revenue has gone up 33% to 26.5 billion.
Yeah, which is impressive, especially considering in fiscal year 2022, the PlayStation 5 wasn't really well available.
No,
that really started to in the last quarter. That really started to pick up, of course.
It kind of makes it less impressive, doesn't it? Because they couldn't sell more back then, so that there's a 300% hike is because it's available now.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes it less impressive, but it's still good. They're 1 million ahead of their predicted sales, so they're doing well.
Yeah. That's what I kind of meant with it's still kind of impressive. So because 1 million isn't a small number.
No, it's not.
But they did well. Surprisingly, what stood out for me was that for the games that were sold, one of the things was that their physical versions, their sales went up 50% for all games.
Yeah, but
it's surprising.
It's if you just look at the perspective, it's still saddening. Last year, it's up by 50% because stores were closed last year. People didn't go out, and they would either ship it in or they go. But it's $1.4 billion for physical versus $5 billion.
That's true
for digital, which is it's not a 50% increase, but it's a 16% increase. So the digital sales are also increasing. Yes, physical increases a little bit more right now, but that's not that crazy because some of these games are older, and usually the physical versions are a little cheaper. If the game is slightly older, they usually discount it a little bit more than the digital version. People are just buying the system now. That's definitely what we're seeing here. So they're going for these physical deals.
Yeah, it is true that all game sales last fiscal year they were like 66% of total game sales digital, and now that's 67%. So it did went up like 1%.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of digital only, but
No.
It's where we're gonna go in the long term.
yeah.
I just don't like. I don't like the idea of. I mean, even like if you have a physical disc, you're still probably gonna have to download a whole bunch of gigs anyway.
With the new Call of
Nowadays,
Duty, yeah.
with a lot of games, at least with a lot of big games.
There was one game that was doing it right now. Was it Jedi Survivor? I think.
Yeah, I think Jedi Survivor is one of them.
Yeah.
Call of Duty. It was Jedi Survivor. Yeah.
Another thing that really irked me on this finance report is that they made a total of $12.5 billion in software sales, but half of that, $6.3 billion, was on DLC. Just DLC.
Oh my god!
And that makes me sad because that means that like basically DLC, it's never gonna go away. It's never gonna be less. It's only gonna get more because half of the money they made last year was just downloadable content, just additions to games they already sold.
Yeah, or it could be stuff like for Call of Duty, for Fortnite.
Oh, it's probably like half of it is P-Bucks and stuff for Call of Duty and you know the digital currency you need within certain live service games. But yeah, it's a little disheartening to realize that half of their sales, like close to 50%, was just on DLC. That's a little saddening to see, though.
It is. Yeah. Not a big fan either.
People buy new games. Stop buying your DLC, please. Let your games die.
Play more than just Fortnite.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked Fortnite for a while. Not a big Battle Royale fan. But also stuff like Rocket League and that sort of stuff. They're fun games. Genshin Impact is kind of fun. But, buy games.
Yes.
If you can, of course.
It's still also crazy to me is that whenever I see a game announcement, so one of the comments is always, "Is this free?" or "Will this be free?"
Yeah.
It's like people are just so comfortable and expecting like all these live service games and free-to-play models.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
They do have 108 million active users. So those are people log in daily. And they have, Microsoft doesn't give us subscription numbers, not on their Game Pass subscriptions or anything else. But PlayStation here they do have 47.4 million PlayStation Plus subscribers. Unfortunately, we don't see what tier is. They don't separate out the tiers, but that's quite the uptick, taken from what is it, like $12 to $18 or $16 a month. Yeah, it's quite a lot.
Yeah,
that's not small change they get every month.
Nope, that's a lot of money.
I think we're moving on to the next thing.
Yep, which is also PlayStation related.
Yes, it is. Talking about PlayStation related things.
Yep.
So it was kind of known that it was going to happen, but they now have officially released a poster and a teaser trailer for the Twisted Metal series. Was it a movie? A series?
Yeah, series.
Yep. Yeah, it's a series.
I think it was about 10 episodes. So
series starring Anthony Mackie. You might recognize his face. And it's from Peacock. I have no idea what this Peacock thing is.
It's an NBC streaming service.
Oh, okay.
Available in the US, unfortunately, right now. So
I haven't been catching up with all the different streaming services.
We have Showtime here that basically runs
Sky
all
Showtime.
It has all the Peacock stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
it also has the Halo show.
Yet.
Oh, it also has the Halo show. So
I thought Halo was Paramount, but I might be wrong.
Yeah. So there's a very short teaser. It shows him driving the car, shooting a little bit, and then, of course, they also tease what's his name?
Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth, yeah.
Sweet Tooth, yes.
Based on the PS1, PS2, and PS3 games, which was all based on car combat.
Yeah, more specifically, Twisted Metal Black, because the main character is called John Doe.
Okay.
One of the main characters in Twisted Metal Black and Twisted Metal Lost.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I think Twisted Metal Black is one of the favorites in the series as well. All right,
Yeah.
because I think I even got that one on PS3 as a digital download or something.
That
Oh no,
might
you got
be-
it for free with the PS3 game. I remember now because I
Oh,
did
right.
buy the PS3 game because I liked the original. I remember playing it on the PlayStation 1 with a friend, and I just liked I liked car combat. It's a fun genre. Just drive around, collect weapons, and shoot people and stuff.
Yeah. With
And
weird
yeah,
It's
and
fun.
I remember you get Twisted Metal Black for free with the PS3 reboot. That wasn't very successful, as I remember correctly.
No.
But
No,
I had a lot of fun with it.
That David Jaffe was spearheading this
Yeah,
back in the
exactly.
day.
Yeah.
Yep. But he's
but
no
yeah,
longer
so-
involved, I think. So
No, he's not. He's no longer involved.
The poster, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw it, but it's really ugly. At least in my opinion.
it's not the best one out there. No.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
that's not
one.
great.
I would immediately think, why didn't they do a view of the car? You can see him like sitting in the car like this, and also the little like what's it called, the muzzle flash. It's so added on. Like, okay, we have to make the gun shoot as well on the poster while he's just
honest?
looking into the camera. It's like,
Yeah. To be
It's,
honest, it does kind of evoke that old school Twisted Metal feeling, like terrible posters.
yeah, it does have a
Something terrible
90s
in it,
feel
right?
to it.
Yeah.
And I also had that with the teaser trailer, by the way. There was this very like, there's this little bit of like cutscene, PS2 cutscene feel to it, or promotional trailer, or like with those TV spots that they used to make for PlayStation. So yeah, maybe it's actually good. I have no idea.
I hope it's gonna be
BoJack
very
Horseman
similar
is
to-
gonna voice Sweet Tooth. That's
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Will Arnett.
Will
yeah.
Arnett will. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, does the Batman voice in the Lego Batman stuff. So that's very funny. He's a fun. I mostly know him as.
Yeah, but
Dom.
the show is written by the Cobra Kai guys.
Yeah, so that could be good.
Uh,
Yeah, because Cobra Kai is pretty fun.
it's not bad, but it's easy writing.
True.
So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
It
There's some
it will
fun
probably it will probably be a fun ride, but it won't be nowhere near something like The Last of Us.
Oh no, this is just mindless fun.
No,
I think
this is
it's gonna be
that's
that.
going to be like a jokely. It's going to be I think it's action comedy, as they say. Said it. So it's going to be just weird. And,
Which is kind of weird because if you remember the first Twisted Metal, if you watch those ending cutscenes, they were disturbing.
Oh
they were
yeah.
dark. Oh yeah.
They were
definitely.
extremely dark and disturbing.
Yep.
Yes.
But there was still a bit of satire connected to it. So the comedy bit I get. It was just very dark humor and that sort of If that's your thing, of course.
Yeah. It was also weird. Yeah, let the guy. What's it called? The one that is, like hanging between two wheels.
Oh, Axel. Yeah.
Axel. Like in terms of character designs, like what?
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be in this season. He might be in the next season. I hope so, because
I hope-
it's just a weird design and I love
Yes,
it.
I hope they do that because then you got me.
Yeah.
Because if
Lean
you
into
go
the
if you go all the
series.
way with stuff
Yeah.
like this, that makes it fun.
Yeah.
So I hope they do that.
Go for the weirdness.
Yes, exactly.
There's so many weird characters.
Talking about weird game adaptations, today,
On point
This is
with your
very
segues
surprising.
today.
Yeah.
yes, they also announced a Vampire Survivors adaptation for, and they're gonna make it a animated television series. So,
Which is
what's
what?
happening?
Why?
You're
I don't know.
starting Silent Hill. There it is.
I
Okay.
clicked on it and it jumped to the other ones. That's weird.
Hmm.
Yeah, so they're gonna make an animated series about vampire survivors, and I was just staring at my monitor. It was like, why and how?
I was like, okay, cool.
Because I know there's a little bit of backstory to some of the characters, I guess, but
Yeah.
there's no story in the game. It's it's vampire survivors. You just kill thousands of monsters, random monsters from all kinds of I think they started with store assets or just sprites from other games, and and eventually they created their like more unique monsters. But
They basically used everything Castlevania related.
yeah, exactly. Even the music is kind of reminiscent of Castlevania, so it's like this whole Castlevania theme basically. And now they're going to make an animated series, and I have no idea how stuff like this gets greenlit. To be honest,
Me neither.
Castlevania did it, so why not?
True.
Yeah,
and
okay, but
it's pretty popular, so
yeah,
there's money to be made from it. So of course that kind of stuff gets greenlit. But
there's
still.
also just more story context in the Castlevania games, right?
Yeah.
Especially with games like Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
And of course the
even the earlier games had some more story elements to them.
Yeah. So I would understand that, but Vampire Survivors is like pure gameplay. So it's I have no idea what to expect from this. And it's an animated series. That's kind of like that takes a lot of work as well. So I don't know.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
Wouldn't work, I guess, but.
Yeah.
And that is perfect for the main topic.
That's another segue, because I actually, because of these little news items, I was going to talk today, or I wanted to talk today, about adaptations in general as a little discussion around that. So there's been actually quite a lot of game adaptations. Let's see. The first one was I think it started with Mario Brothers actually in '93. So, what's your general opinion on video game adaptations? What is a good video game adaptation according to you guys?
Okay, go for it. Go for it. No, go.
All right. For me, because I'm very much interested in filmmaking itself, I'm also very adamant about keeping things like at least 95%. In check with the established stuff. So if you do an adaptation of something, be more like Marvel does stuff. You have the basics of Iron Man, for example, and build on that, but keep it Iron Man. Don't go changing too many things. A lot of video game adaptations, like series or movies. Fail because they tend to move away from the things that work.
Yeah,
because they want to do their own thing. I have issues with The Witcher, for example. It's an okay series. Henry Cavill is the best part of it, but he is leaving now because he can't work with the writers who want to change things up too much.
Yeah, although The Witcher was mostly based on the books
and not the game.
But even then.
But yeah, the visuals, of course, were easy to adapt from the games. But yeah.
Yeah, but even then, even the games strayed away from some stuff in the books, and the writer wasn't happy with that. So, but if you move,
let's be fair on The Witcher.
Away, I mean, again, The Witcher is a good series.
Yeah, but Henry would not have been cast if they made The Witcher truthful to the games and truthful to the books, because Geralt is supposed to be basically a hideous man.
Oh yeah,
Henry Cavill is not a hideous man.
True.
True.
I mean, he doesn't like beards either in the books, so that's okay. But in the games, you can definitely don a beard, so that's a change that not a big fan. But a lot of game movies, especially Mario, like the '90s Mario movie, that was just weird and didn't work.
Yeah,
that had so much trouble behind the scenes. Bob was basically drunk the entire time. The directors didn't know what they wanted to do. So it was that movie was basically a combination of everything that can go wrong during production to go wrong during production. They got their budget cut. The script was rewritten while they were actually filming. They had a main, their lead actor was basically not into it and was contractual obligated to do it. So he did it while being drunk.
Yeah. He even complained on set that I've been in Hamlet and that sort of stuff. I've done Shakespeare. I mean, I get it because Bob is a really good actor, but
He was a fantastic character actor.
yeah.
But
yeah. But yeah, if you I don't know, if you were like, you have to commit to the role then, right? If you're maybe he just saw all the problems and he just got demotivated or something. It's like, what is this garbage? And actually, it is kind of garbage. I watched the movie for the first time today, actually, during, like, on the side. I had it open on a separate PC because I just wanted to see it, because I always avoided it because I heard terrible things, and the terrible things were true. It's a really creepy movie, really weird movie. There's, of course, like, the princess is Princess Daisy in the movie, not Peach, and her father is Fungus, and the fungus are the mushrooms. So it's that's sort of weird stuff. And then that old Mario Bros. Movie is just it's just a mix of weird cyberpunk-ish 80s stuff. And there was hardly any connection to the games at all.
Yeah, that's the problem was there weren't that many games. There were just a few, and none of these games had any story or whatsoever. So they had to the screenwriters had to look at the game. They probably didn't even play it. They just looked at some screenshots, like, this is what the game is, and they just made something up. That's basically what they did. Unlike the new Super Mario Brothers movie, which is an absolute love letter to the entire franchise, all its characters, Nintendo as a whole, and gaming as a whole. Yeah. So it's completely different. Yes, the story is fairly simplistic and kind of boring, and Charlie Day is absolutely wasted away in a cage for like 99% of the movie.
True. Yeah.
But it's such a fun joyride. Like, I watched it in the theater. It's absolutely fantastic. The only thing annoying was that I was watching it in the theater and other people were talking. But
oh God,
kids, right?
Oh yeah, I had some adolescent children there.
Oh gosh.
So yeah.
Not
like actual kids, because we wanted to see the movie before we were gonna take our kids there. Just to see if it's okay for kids, and it's not. There's like basically a zombie scene in there that I'm not going to show my kids until I can properly explain that to them, because holy cow, that part is scary.
It is kind of scary, yeah.
Like, for us, it's absolutely fine. We've seen worse, but if a kid would see that for the first time, that might be nightmare-inducing.
Especially in the theater.
Yeah. But but the music, everything is absolutely fine. It's an absolutely safe movie. They play it very safe, but it's fun. It's just fun.
And in the early 90s, there were some other adaptations, like Double Dragon. Yet of course Street Fighter, where it was just a Tuesday, and of course one that I actually kind of liked. Personally, it was Mortal Kombat.
I like Mortal Kombat. I still love the theme song.
So
of course, the theme song is legendary.
Yeah.
Oh wait, this is the other Mortal Kombat. The theme song is legendary, and it was just fun. And I think this is also, it kind of is the same way as they did the new Super Mario Brothers movie, where it's a little silly. There's inside jokes. Even Raiden is making jokes, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, we know it's silly, but we're gonna make a cool little fight action film with weird characters, and they actually did pretty well with the story as well. And it had a little. Sometimes it actually had a little bit of a serious tone to it.
I think the first movie was absolutely fine. They screwed it up with the sequels to the first movie.
Oh yeah,
that's when they screwed it up. Because the first movie, the Scorpion, the fight between Johnny Cage and Scorpion, the fight with Sub-Zero, that stuff was really cool.
Yeah,
and I've seen that. I remember going to the theater as a kid and watching this movie, and I really, really enjoyed it. Everything that, like, especially the Scorpion scene. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Even though it's a little weird that his hook is like a sentient creature.
Yeah.
But that's one of those 90s things that they put in there. And of course, it has a very good Kano as well. That became a staple of how Kano is represented in even the newer Mortal Kombat games, with the accent and his attitude. So the movie actually carried over into the games as well. I think it was Mortal Kombat 9 where they kind of told the same story as this movie as well, with the same kind of presentation and 90s comedy in there.
I think it was sort of a reboot for the entire series, right?
Yes. Mortal Kombat 9 was basically a reboot, trying to like, okay, we're going back to the original story, and we're gonna add cinematics to it, and that was really well done in the game. But yeah, it was partially based on that movie, which is really fun. And of course, then there is the after the bad sequels, there's also a quite recent Mortal Kombat movie that I also watched.
It was really enjoyed.
It was okay, but
fights were great.
Yeah, the fight scenes were great. Of course, this was one of those things where we're gonna really do gore in this one. We're not gonna be a PG movie. But they also had some weird choices in there, like making the protagonist a nameless...
An original character. Yeah, and he was an original character, which is kind of dumb.
But yeah, the origins of Scorpion and Sub-Zero are really cool.
Those are great.
Where you see when they're still human, and how they came to be, their characters. That was really cool stuff.
Yeah. The fights are really well done.
Yeah, the fight scenes are all great. Also, and again, a good Kano representation.
Jax losing his arms. I mean, that's brutal.
Yeah. All those scenes are in there. So yeah, it was not too bad, but it felt a little bit like a B movie. And maybe that's the point of it.
I think it was intentional.
Yeah, it was intentional, maybe.
Well, they wanted to make this into a completely cinematic universe kind of thing. Like
there's a new one coming, so.
They are. I thought because it didn't really
it didn't do well, right?
No. They're still moving forward with that one. Yep.
Interesting. I hope they do more, like, better things with the sequel. Make it a bigger success. That would be cool. Like these fights are really cool that they show in the trailer as well. Creating knives out of blood and stuff. I don't know. It was really cool. And then there were some random in-between adaptations, like we had a Rampage starring The Rock of all actors. I think I'm not even sure how that did in the box office. I think most people that went there didn't even know it was based on a video game. Also because the game itself is just, it's a well-known game, but it's not one of the big Nintendo blockbuster titles.
No.
And so it's also another one of those weird choices. Like, why would you make a movie out of this?
Because money.
Yeah, because money. They just took the title. They had the property or something, and then they said, "Okay, let's just make a movie out of it."
The movie is produced by Uwe.
Oh, is it? I didn't even know that.
Rampage was produced by. Oh no, that's a different Rampage movie. Sorry, that's the other
Rampage movie.
Yeah, that's very bad. It's a very bad movie.
I know which one you mean.
Yeah. No, that's actually the one directed by Uwe, who also did a lot of, speaking of him, he did a lot of terrible movie game video game adaptations.
Although you could say that Postal was actually kind of okay as an adaptation, being also very weird. And
the games are terrible enough.
I was gonna say, like, that translated well.
Yeah.
It worked within its confines,
Yeah. And of course, like, we had Lara Croft, Tomb Raider,
which was okay.
Yeah, and it was also a very big hit back then. I remember that being quite a big deal, because it was also a very well-known title, and it wasn't that bad either. I think Angelina Jolie, of course, was perfect for the role as well, in terms of looks and stuff.
Not starting the thing though.
What? Oh, I didn't click anything.
My page just died.
Oh, your page just died. It's playing for me here. So
no, it just
died. So Rampage, the 2018 movie, not the 2009 movie from Uwe Boll, made like 428 million in the box office.
Okay.
That's a production budget of 120 million plus another 140 million for the marketing budget. So it didn't do well.
No,
No.
that doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, Kong Skull Island made like 566 million, and War for the Planet of the Apes made 490 million. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they also didn't do well, but it's not terrible.
Yeah.
They broke even, but
The page died for me.
Yeah.
We go to big screen maybe.
$120
Yeah.
million budget, and then it's not great. The movie,
Yeah. And then of course there's also we had a lot of Resident Evil movies as well, live action and animated. I think
The
I
live
only
actions
saw
are
the first
terrible.
one actually of that one.
Yeah, the first one was sort of close to the source material.
Yeah.
But after that,
No.
it all just went to shit.
Alice
a
didn't
little bit.
exist. The main character doesn't exist in the games.
Yeah.
Alice doesn't exist, so it's not really that close to the source material. The only thing they used was a mansion and umbrella.
That's true. It's sort of closer. It's a little more closer, but yeah, just like the latest Mortal Kombat movie, they implemented some new character, probably for the audience or something. But you don't.
It was
need that.
weird. It was
Mhm.
It was a weird movie.
Yeah.
Because most of it played in was in that underground base thing, right? If I remember correctly, with
Well,
the
the big-
famous laser sequence.
Yeah, that was pretty well done for the time, and pretty disturbing.
Yeah.
Someone just got diced into little cubes, lasers.
Yes,
So
just like in Cube.
Yeah, true.
I don't know which one was first. Probably Cube, right?
I think it was
not sure.
Cube. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sure
Same
either.
idea, a little bit.
But
yeah.
The biggest issue I have with that is that the director, Paul W.S. Anderson,
Yeah.
who also did the Mortal Kombat movie in the 90s, so that's why he did the how he started with the Resident Evil stuff. He also made another movie starring again with Mila Jovovich. Jovovich, because he's married to her.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
The Monster Hunter movie.
The Monster Hunter movie.
Oh, right.
I haven't seen it, but apparently it was really bad.
My God, it is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
I've only seen a trailer for it where it's all like mostly desert stuff.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's
Okay.
very bad. I mean, if you do a Monster Hunter movie, just focus on the characters within the world, not from outside our from our world. I kind of like isekai stuff, but that was bad. I'm sorry.
I don't know why they do that. Like that's one of those default plans.
Mm-hmm.
They did that. That did that also with Sonic the Hedgehog. To be fair, which is a fun movie, but they did the same thing.
Reverse isekai Sonic.
Yeah, exactly. But
So
it's always like, okay, we're gonna have it collide with real world things, so it's easier to film or to spend like half the movie and not building complete sets and CGI backgrounds or something.
Yeah,
it's really strange. I mean, that's how they did the Mario movie. That was 90% real life stuff with like sprinkled in Goomba things. But yeah, I haven't seen the Monster Hunter thing, but I was like, okay, I'm not gonna bother. It doesn't seem like they did anything.
Yeah, you're not missing much.
Yeah.
No. Especially if you're a fan of the Monster Hunter movie games, you're not missing much. It doesn't add anything. The acting is very flat. I mean, the action is kind of okay, but there's so much wrong with it in the context of the universe. Not a fan. No.
Yeah, and then the Sonic movies, of course, which was really funny. I like the journey of the Sonic movies where they started off with a trailer and where they kind of screwed up the design for Sonic. And fans complained so much that they actually completely redid the CGI for the character
For the better.
and changed the model. and for the better, of course.
Yeah.
I, that was such a weird thing to see happen, where the design was so off, and it was like, well, this character already looks goofy in itself. Why didn't they just go with the original design?
Yeah.
So
They wanted to make him look more human somehow.
They wanted them to stand out less, to feel more real
integrated
for some
with the
reason.
world, like
Yeah.
That's why they gave him the fur thing and
Yeah. And then the teeth.
It's such a hideous
nightmares,
creature.
Dude. And I don't have nightmares. So yeah. That was terrible.
They changed it around to the new adaptation, which is a lot better.
Yeah, I mean that's straight up from the game.
Yeah, I was very much surprised that they went with Robotnik, Jim Carrey's Robotnik.
He did a good job, though.
He did really well. He's funny. He's great. But he doesn't look like Robotnik at all. He's not some fat, chubby guy who...
In the second movie, he's more like Robotnik.
More like, yeah. But it's the bald thing, of course. But
I still have to see the second one.
But I kind of like it. He did well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Sonic movies are not bad. It's just,
they're fun.
They should have, yeah. I wonder if they're gonna go full CG Sonic later. Now that the movie, the Mario movie, did that, where they just where they fully went into the world of where it originally the games took place, basically.
Yeah. We talked about it last time. Idris Elba getting a Knuckles series, so I hope they're going to do that for the series. Just full CGI. You know, show his background, his past, because there's a lot of good set pieces in the Sonic games that they can use.
Yeah. Another game adaptation that I liked, but wasn't perfect, was Silent Hill. Which I was really hyped about because I was a big fan of Silent Hill since I played Silent Hill 2. And actually, the director is currently working on a new movie. So that's interesting. It's going to be based on Silent Hill 2 itself. So I have no idea.
Yeah, there was a second Silent Hill movie, which wasn't as great.
No, it was terrible.
The first Silent Hill movie was really well done. So I really want to see more of that.
Yeah, the problem that I had with I mean, when I saw it, I didn't have a problem with it because I was just happy to see all that stuff. Is that Silent Hill 1, the movie, had a lot of Silent Hill 2 references in it. There was music from Silent Hill 2. There was, of course, Pyramid Head, which had no part in the story. It shouldn't have a part in the story at all. Because that's tied to the character of James in Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, of course, and even the monster designs were Silent Hill 2, most of them.
Yeah.
Which is even like the because of course they switched roles, right? Where in the original game it's a guy going with a daughter, and then has to find the daughter, and this is the mom, and the husband is also looking for them, which is kind of like a sort of Silent Hill 2-ish hook to that. So it's with Sean Bean even in there. That's kind of funny. But yeah, the movie was based on Silent Hill 1, and especially some of the camera angles were like directly translated, which is really cool to see. You know, the scene in the opening with the flashlight and with the lighter where she goes and look for her daughter, and then she gets attacked by all these monsters. That was really well done. I think that movie was pretty okay. Even as a standalone horror movie, it was okay to watch. You didn't have to know a lot about the games either for that. No, it just jumps the lore onto you. So
yeah. And then you had Silent Hill Revelation 3D, which did a lot of it made money at the box office. That's true, but it did really disappoint on a lot of factors. Like, again, the story wasn't great. The acting wasn't, it had Kit Harington, who's a good actor, but his performance just wasn't. It felt flat. It felt really flat.
Yeah.
And then you had also the very bad 3D stuff that was tacked on.
Yeah. Also, just weird things like where they had like people turn into monsters. like the mannequin monster scene, if you remember that. And is this the whole movie? Like, I'm not sure what I clicked on.
No, it's still a trailer.
No, you added the full movie. It's 1 hour and 40.
Oh, okay. That's not good.
How is
Don't
that
show that.
possible?
Let's not do that.
There's a lot of that stuff on
let's not
YouTube,
do that.
unfortunately.
I don't know how that. I thought I'm going to add it to the thing here. Okay, here we go. Trailer.
Guess we can watch a full movie and get banned.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did like that they went for the Silent Hill 3 setup for the story. But yeah, there was also like, of course, you had to have Pyramid Head in there, and of course, Pyramid Head then fights the other monsters in the end. It kind of became like a circus.
Yeah.
And then it was. I was very disappointed with the second one. The thing is, it wasn't the same director, right? Or was it?
No, I don't think so.
I actually have to look that up because I'm curious. Because it didn't feel like the first movie.
No, it was very different.
Well, you look it up. There were some other movies that were pretty good, but didn't really do enough in the box office to warrant anything else. I actually really enjoyed the Warcraft movie. It wasn't bad. It showed off the actual world in the everything that happened prior to World of Warcraft, which is obviously like the main thing right now.
Yeah, the original games, basically.
It kind of did what it had to do, and the movie actually made a lot of money, and it did very well, but it didn't do well in the United States, and that's why they never made a sequel. They could have made it did like 300 or 400 million just in China.
Yeah, I really liked it as well.
Yeah, it was the CG was pretty good. The story was okay. It was a little convoluted if you didn't know anything about the lore, but you could still kind of manage.
Yeah,
and it was going to set up interesting things. It was going to set up orcs versus human, which would be like the second game, and after that, it was definitely going to set up Arthas, which is the third game.
Yeah,
and that would have brought the Lich King forward, and that would have been a really cool story. So a lot of missed potential here, unfortunately.
Yeah, I remember going to the cinema with you.
Yeah,
and I really kind of enjoyed it indeed as well. Yeah,
it was definitely a fun movie. It just
fun fantasy movie
didn't pan out. It was a fun fantasy movie indeed.
Yeah.
And then there are a few, at least I'm just going to talk about one. But there's one adaptation, and I didn't even care for the source material, but it's just that good, and that's Arcane. Arcane is a fantastic show.
Yeah, I still have to see it.
It's so good. So I have nothing with League of Legends. I couldn't care less. If I played 2 games, that's it. Like just to check it out. It wasn't my cup of tea. Didn't know anything about it. But this show is fantastic. The characters are fantastic. The voice acting is superb. The art style is really, really good. And I actually watched it twice back to back. I watched it on a day when Marco wasn't home, so I just put it on because I thought she wouldn't be interested. And I watched it all the way through, like literally in one sitting. And she came home that evening. I was like, okay, we need to watch Arcane. She's like, but you already watched it. Yeah, I know, but we need to watch Arcane. I want to share this experience with you. And she also really enjoyed it. So yeah, if you haven't seen Arcane, it's literally one of the better game adaptations ever. And there's hardly any source material. Like they're getting more. They're expanding the universe with like side games and stuff and RPGs.
Yeah.
But I didn't know anything about League of Legends, and this it's really just that good. It makes you care about a world you don't care about at all.
It's basically a miracle that this happened.
Yeah, it's very.
And they're working on a second season, and they're taking their time. They're like, we're not going to tell you when it's done. We're not going to tell you how we're doing production. We're making a second season. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I can't wait. At some point, it's going to come out, and it's that good. So give it a watch. Let me know.
Maybe Vampire Survivors is gonna be good anyway. If they do the same.
There's still a chance.
If they manage to do something like this, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't. I mean, if they can flesh out the lore in the series, you don't need that for the game itself, of course.
You just need a
League of
good
Legends
story.
showed that it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's I have to admit I never had any intention of watching anything League of Legends, but I was definitely interested in watching Arcane. So I did, and I really enjoyed what I saw. I haven't finished it yet, but yeah, I was surprised as well.
Yeah, and then of course, one of the other big hits of recent memory is the Last of Us series.
Yeah.
Which I also haven't seen yet. I'm saving all this up for my summer vacation, so so I can watch it in one go.
Yeah, I've watched it as well.
And I even pondered because I haven't finished the game to first play the game and then watch the series. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that.
It doesn't matter.
It helps,
because
it doesn't really
matter. No, it helps.
Yeah,
it follows the game beat for beat. So you're just gonna miss some of the smaller interactions between Joel and Ellie because obviously the game is a slower pace than the actual show.
Yes,
but it's gonna be the same.
Yeah,
I heard that. What they do is that they fleshed out some characters, but their story a bit different. But it really worked. There were some very strong notes in there that
yeah, a lot of extra things like background notes that you find in the game are now full episodes and scenes in there. I heard some really good things about that.
New. And they did a really well job with her story and their encounter. So yeah. I mean, in the game that is just an action set piece, but now there's more character behind it, so you're more invested into that particular moment in time.
Yeah.
So
it's good.
Yeah. So the quality of game adaptations is going up a lot lately.
There are more coming.
And there are more coming, yeah.
We have Horizon coming. We have what was the other one?
Well,
God of War is getting one.
God of
Horizon
War,
is getting one.
Yeah, there were some of the news drops as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
That they're working on some stuff. I hope it's all good. Like
there's a new Street Fighter movie coming.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's still in development. But there was also talks about one of the John Wick directors doing a Division movie with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes, I read that as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I haven't seen anything from it, but it might still be in development. I thought it was for Netflix, so it might take some time. But there's a lot of stuff you can still do with it. I think there's also stuff coming from Ghost of Tsushima. A new Detective Pikachu. There's also talks about Firewatch, which I really enjoyed, which might be more of a drama, slice of life thing. And of course, did we already mention Five Nights at Freddy's?
No, we didn't mention it.
No,
but
I was okay with
coming.
not mentioning it.
Oh, and of course, we have Markiplier's Iron Lung coming.
Yep.
We announced that last week.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Bioshock and Borderlands might also get some adaptations.
Yeah. They're working on that movie, right? Borderlands.
Yeah.
They added. Kevin Hart will be playing Roland. Jack Black is going to be Claptrap. Jamie Lee Curtis is Dr. Tannis, which is perfect. Because Dr. Tannis,
Yeah, because I remember they had this whole event about Borderlands, from the set or something.
Yeah.
Or a few years back, and after that it's just completely silent.
There's probably some Bioshock stuff still happening. I know that they just redid the entire script, and I think they're moving into pre-production soon. Yep. So there's stuff coming, and hopefully some of it will be good. I think the days of bad video game adaptations might be behind us.
Changing. Yeah.
Maybe.
There's an Easter egg in Super Mario Brothers that's that sets up a possible second movie. I know that they're already looking into it, since the movie is about to make $1 billion.
Yeah,
a lot of butts. Yeah,
and Miyamoto also said there might be other IPs coming as well. There are definitely other IPs coming as well.
Yeah.
I think Zelda arrive.
Yeah, the Nintendo Cinematic Universe is going to be a thing.
The Cobra Kai creators are said to be working on a Duke Nukem project.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And we have Gears of War
War as
coming.
well. Yep.
Yeah.
And the upcoming Gran Turismo movie this year.
Yes, also. Oh my god, I forgot how many of them are
There's
in
a lot of
development.
stuff. Yep.
We just had a
Um,
Tetris movie, although it was about the creation of Tetris, not Tetris itself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
so-
like that
yeah.
kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily they went with the creation of Tetris and not something
It's
with
so
the
good. I'm not sure if you've seen
themselves.
it, but it's so good.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's
still have
on
to
my
see
list.
it. Yeah.
Fantastic
Um,
movie.
Also, no, I believe that if I remember correctly, I did read that Just Cause might be getting a project.
Really?
Yep. I remember that because I was reading something about John Wick, and Derek Kolstad, one of the creators of John Wick, jumped on board as producer and writer. So,
Interesting.
Okay.
yeah, with Robert Rodriguez as the main character, of course. Jason Momoa was going to be playing as Rico Rodriguez. That was
What?
it.
Oh, Jason
So that's going to
Momoa?
be interesting.
Yeah, that would work actually.
that could work.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's
So-
about time we wrap it up, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming. Let's wrap it up then. All right. So, what are our plans for this coming week, Benjiro?
Ooh, this week. Let's go to the whip screen. Well, we're already there. That's perfect. Not really sure if I have a lot of time to game this coming week. We'll see. Tomorrow I actually have a few hours to myself, so I might play some Stranger of Paradise. On Sunday I might actually stream a little. Actually, probably not on Sunday. It's probably going to be Monday. And we're hopefully gonna be taking a look at a few new games. I'm willing to unpack. One of them being Cassette Monsters, which
Yep, on my list as well. Yep.
which seems like an interesting take on the Pokemon franchise. So I picked that
Really
one
good
up.
things to do.
I picked that one up today. So Cassette Beasts
nice.
actually, but I picked it up today.
Cassette
So
Beasts, yeah.
hopefully we can start playing that on stream very shortly.
It's also on Game Pass for those interested.
Okay.
So,
All right. Vash, what you up to?
well, I'm still going to continue with Borderlands 3 and some 2 Point Campus, of course. I've also been playing a lot of Vampire Survivors. I think I got all the 1.0 achievements now, or at least I need one more. But I am also going to continue or start with Front Mission 1 Remake for the Switch.
Okay. Interesting.
I really loved Front Mission 3 back then on the PlayStation 1, which is also getting a remake. And next in June, Front Mission 2, which never got a release outside of Japan back then. Yeah, it's also going to arrive on the Switch, and I really enjoyed tactical RPGs, so that's definitely one that I want to finish sometime this year. Mostly looking forward to Front Mission 3 because they're very story heavy, lots of political stuff going on, different factions, and none of them are really either pure good or pure bad. So that's definitely that's a series that I want to see more of, and I hope that Front Mission 4 and 5, 4 never came to Europe, for example, on the PlayStation 2, and 5 never even got released outside of Japan.
Okay.
So I hope they will continue doing that for the series.
But you're going to start with one. That's what you're going to stick to
Yes.
next week, right? You're not going to play all of them.
No, because they're not even out yet. So just this one that came out fairly recently.
Okay.
So yeah,
Fair enough.
Okay.
and maybe some other stuff.
All right. For myself, I will be continuing my Mario journey with Mario Galaxy. I will be continuing my build engine games thing with Blood. And for the rest, it's always just whatever I feel like playing. Maybe something new just jumps in between. Sometimes I have these impromptu decisions where I find a game I want to play. But yeah, that's about it. I don't plan too much far ahead, so we'll see what happens. All right. Well, that's it for this week. Benjiro, where can they find you? Of course, it's on the screen, but for the listeners as well.
They can find me on on Twitch at Pixels and Sprites, or they can find me on Twitter, Pixels Sprites.
All right, and Vash?
At PVBacon, so PVBAIKUN.
All right, and
On Twitter.
me on Twitter, and me on Twitter as well at the Metsman. And yeah, that's gonna do it for today. And I will see you guys, and you will see the other guys as well next week. See you later.
Guys next week. Bye bye.
Bye.